The main reason I'm leaving London is Hi, my name's Jack. I'm a designer and video maker living in London, but not for very long. As you can see from the title, yes, I am leaving London. In less than 10 days, I'm going to be packing my bags and leaving my London flat forever. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about why I'm leaving London and also what I'm going to be doing next, because that is very exciting. But before we get into that, I just want to say thank you for 5,000 subscribers. We're actually sitting at about 5.2 thousand now, which I feel is very undeserved considering it's been about 4 months since I've made my last video. So to all the people who have subscribed in the last 4 months, which I think is about 400 people, thank you very much. Welcome. I promise there is going to be more videos than what you've seen in the last 4 months, so I hope you do stick around to see what's to come. Right, with that out of the way, let's get back to talking about London. So I've lived in London for almost 7 years now, which is very crazy to think for me. 3 of those years were spent studying. 1 of those years was a placement year working. 3 more of those years were also working, 2 of which were actually during COVID, meaning I kind of didn't really get the full London experience during that time. But fortunately, we have had about a year since COVID was really affecting the UK, and I have to say this past year I've spent in London has been by far my favourite year of all the time I've lived in London. So it might seem a bit crazy that having just had my best and favourite year living in London, that now is the time that I want to leave. London obviously isn't a perfect place though. I think the main issue for a lot of people about living here is the cost of living. I've made quite a few videos about this topic on my channel, talking about how much things cost in London, and unanimously in those videos comments, everyone is saying, oh my god, I can't believe how expensive London is, and it's true, it's a fact, and especially so over the last few months. The rise of cost in London has been extravagant. It's also the case in pretty much the whole world, but obviously with inflation, it's a percentage, so a percentage of a already enormous amount which it takes to live in London, the increase is going to be just that bit more. Another thing that isn't great about living in London is that it's just very easy to fall in a routine of being busy non-stop. I know especially for me, I work a full-time job, I study part-time, I have a few hobbies such as YouTube, which obviously I've been slacking on over the last 4 months, and I also try and maintain a very active social life. So with all those things, it means you leave yourself with not a lot of free time. I think that's very much in the culture of living in a city like London, because you see everyone else doing it, all your friends and co-workers are doing it, so you feel like you have to do it as well. But those downsides to this great city aren't actually the reason why I'm leaving. The main reason I'm leaving is that I've actually only ever lived in 2 places in my entire life. I spent the first 18 years of my life living in Dorset, which is a small county in the southwest of England. And then when I started studying, I moved to London, and I've been here for almost 7 years, as we've already discussed. So even though I love London and it's by far my favourite place I've ever lived, that's only a favourite place out of 2 places. It's not a lot of perspective. There's not much comparison to be made there. It's just one or the other. So how can I actually say London is such a great place when 99.999 whatever percent of the places in this world I've never lived or experienced? So what I really want to do is find out, is there better places to live in the world than London? Or was I right all along? London is amazing, London is the best place. But there's only one way to do that, and that's actually by going to these places. So what is next for me? If I'm not going to be in London, where am I going to live? Well, some of you might have guessed this already, but I'm actually not going to live in one place. I'm going to start traveling digital nomad style. I'm going to continue working my full-time product design job, but completely remotely from different locations around the world. I'll slowly move between different countries and cities and experience them for longer periods of time than you might normally get when traditionally traveling or going on holidays. I really do appreciate how fantastic of an opportunity this is. This is something that I've wanted to do for a number of years, However, it's only now that I have a job that will actually facilitate me to do this, so I'm very thankful to my employers for allowing me to start doing this. As I said, this is something that I've wanted to do for a number of years now. However, there's been a number of factors, mainly COVID, that has stopped me doing this for a couple of years. But seeing as I have had such an amazing last year in London, I'm very thankful that I have had to wait till now. And now that it's getting so close to when I'm actually leaving and starting this new part of my life, I couldn't be any more excited. Actually, that's a lie. I think I'll be even more excited next week, and then probably even more excited the week after, but you know what I'm saying. And also, because I am going to be still working a full-time job, I will need to be living in these places for a good enough amount of time to have the free time to actually explore and discover what is great and what is not great about these different places. So although I do know my first destination of my travels, I'm not actually planning my journey too far ahead. Currently, I'm not even planning it beyond the first location. The reasons for this are, first, I might love somewhere and want to stay longer. If I've already got my next stop planned on my trip, and I want to stay in a location longer, that would be very upsetting that I'd have to leave when I feel like my time there isn't done. Second is the opposite. I might go somewhere and absolutely hate it. If I've got like a 3-month lease in one location and then a week in, I realise this just really isn't the place for me, then it would be very, very annoying to have to stay for 3 months. The third reason is that I might just not enjoy the digital nomad lifestyle in general. I've always lived a normal life of just staying in one place for a long period of time. So maybe a month in, a couple of months in, 6 months in, I might realise that being a digital nomad and travelling between different locations and not having a single home base just doesn't fit with who I am. And the final reason is opportunity. If I book too far ahead, I might miss out on new opportunities that I don't find until I'm actually out there. I might meet people who suggest going to one place or another, or just not have done certain research until I'm actually out there. But if I've already got my entire trip planned out and I don't allow for a bit of spontaneity, then I'm just doing myself a disservice. So I feel like after saying all this, it would be very rude of me not to tell you where my first destination is. So, drumroll please, the first destination I'll be going to is Toronto. At the end of July, I'll be flying to Toronto in Canada with an initial month booked of accommodation. I chose Toronto for a few reasons. The first is the time zone. In my first month, while I'll be adjusting to working from a different country, I feel like it's very sensible to only be a few hours different from my colleagues based in the UK, which I'm sure they'll appreciate as well. The second is the culture. The culture in Toronto, as far as I'm aware, isn't too different to that in the UK. Obviously, it's another kind of Western country and another big city like London. So moving from London to Toronto isn't going to be this massive culture shock, which I think for my first destination is a positive thing. I definitely plan on going to lots of places that are very different to anything I've experienced before, but I think when I'm getting started and finding my feet, I think it is sensible to go somewhere that isn't too far from home in terms of culture. The third is the location and the time of year. I'll be going to Toronto whilst it's still summer, meaning that it's going to be really nice weather. A big part of me doing all of this is that I just want to kind of follow the sun and experience nice weather. Obviously, UK winters and London winters are quite renowned for being quite depressing experiences. So starting in North America and working my way south through the rest of the year and following the sun, I think is going to be great. And that also gives you a little hint for some of the other places I'm probably going to go in the next 6 months or so. And the final reason is Toronto itself. Toronto has always appealed to me as this awesome city, and just Canada in general. I definitely don't want to stop at just Toronto in terms of viewing Canada. Obviously not going to see the whole of Canada just in my initial trip, but throughout my life I do want to see lots of places in Canada. I think it's an awesome place. The people seem amazing from the outside, so yeah, very excited for that. And then the final thing I want to discuss in this video is, what does all this mean for my YouTube channel? So I really want to go all in on making videos about my travels. I don't just want to make traditional travel vlogs, but I want to make videos that are balanced between entertaining content, but also informative videos that people can maybe use for guidance to how they can achieve a similar lifestyle as the one that I hope mine is going to be. So these videos will be about what you should do, what you shouldn't do, discussions on different experiences, both good and bad. And I have already come up with some vague video ideas, so here's just a few that I might be making in the future. I've got my laptop here because it would be a lot quicker if I just read them off the screen. First week living in X location, for example Toronto, cost of living in X location, day in the life of a product designer in X location, tours of the various accommodations and places I'll be staying. Other videos such as digital nomad packing guides, gear guides, financial guides, lifestyle guides such as staying in good physical shape or maintaining positive mental health. Obviously I need to start actually experiencing this lifestyle before I feel like I can give good enough advice. So I think my early videos and my travels are more going to be about the experience and what I'm kind of feeling and doing in that moment, and then hopefully further down the line I'll feel like I have enough experience to give real advice about the different aspects of this lifestyle. I've really struggled for a while working out what my kind of niche is on YouTube, hence why you've not seen any videos on the channel for kind of the last 4 months or so. But I do really think that digital nomad / product design lifestyle videos is the ideal niche for me, and something that I can get really excited about and make some cool, fun, creative and informative videos on. If you've made it all the way to the end of this video, I truly am shocked because this has been one hell of a rambly video, so thank you very much if you are still watching. I do hope you're excited about the content that I'm going to start producing around this new chapter of my life. If you have any suggestions for places I should go, things I should do, or videos I should make, please do let me know either in the comment section of this video or on one of my various social media profiles, all of which are linked in the description of this video. Right, I need to go and get a glass of water because I am super tired of talking. Thank you very much for watching this video, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.